Let me now open this up to my guests on the broadcast. Prashant GS of Karnataka BJP is with us. Lavanya Balal is also with us, who's a spokesperson of the Congress party. And also with us is R.K. Upadhyay, who's a political analyst. Lavanya, ladies first, we'll begin with you. I want to understand, point by point, what is the exact issue that the Karnataka Congress is having with the national education policy?
First of all, the point of the threat to the federal structure. When a subject is on the concurrent list, a unilateral decision by the central government will be viewed as hostile towards the federal structure of this nation. So when multiple states are raising concerns about NEP, we are amazed that the central government refuses to discuss what the states are raising as red flags or something that doesn't suit their particular state. The refusal of the central government to get into a discussion about NEP itself is very alarming. Also, when it is NEP suggests, if you look at NEP, it suggests 6% of the total GDP should be used for education. Whereas if you look at it under the current government itself, in the last 4 years, the education budgets, the total percent of the GDP, it has dropped down and it is stayed at 2.9%. Also, when we are talking about teachers, there is a vacancy of 10 lakh teachers in India. It does not address the issue of recruiting them. Whereas it says we will bring in students who have studied to be assisting these teachers. So it does not address the issue of bringing in more educated people into the system as professors and teachers, right? Also, the other issue that it comes up with is when it comes to classrooms, right? A lot of classrooms and everything, they're talking of a school complex. So school complex will lead to shutting down of your neighborhood schools in a longer period of time. It doesn't happen overnight. The impact of it is felt in a period of time. Now, if you look at the infrastructure of the schools itself, if you look at poor infrastructure, boundary walls, libraries, playgrounds, if you look at the percentage of it, it's very high. So all of these needs to be addressed as well. So what we are asking for as a state, as Karnataka, is when there is lower enrollment for higher education, because there's a huge amount of youth population in India who are graduating and not finding jobs. So when you're saying they can exit out of the system and come back, how is it that when he comes back, where does he come back? How does the student come back? Where does he get into the system once again? All of this is not defined. So when you're giving him an exit route, how are you supporting him in a couple of years? A student would exit the education system to support himself because he's from economically weaker background. Now, if he is exiting for that, how are you helping him, encouraging him come back into the system? What kind of financial assistance will the system provide for him to come back? All of this is a big, vacuum there. There are no answers for all of this.
Okay, so Prashant, would you like to actually take that, some pointed arguments by the Congress party? I'd like to also understand that the essential argument that's been made by these various states that I just listed out before introducing you all was that this is a hurriedly implemented policy which started with the state of Karnataka. How do you counter that?
Griha, firstly, NEP first draft and till the final NEP policy came in, wide-ranging consultations were held from 2015 onwards till it became a reality in 2020. If you look at Professor Kasturirangan's report of 484 pages, it was a very comprehensive report done after many years of research and wide-ranging public consultations across, I would say, the length and breadth of society. Because every parent was consulted, the students' community was consulted, teachers, vice chancellors, and academicians, and eminent social personalities, everybody were part of the consultation process. Only after a wide-ranging consultancy, the National Education Policy 2020 came into being. And if there are any issues that the Congress has got to say that there is a lacuna or a possible loophole in some area, it has to be probably dealt with by how do you do it? You are implementing, NEP is already implemented, you will always have measures to reiterate your concerns and ensure that the problems are addressed. The scrapping of NEP is only they're doing it only to play with students' future and to buttress their political agenda. They're not keeping in mind the students' future at
But
all.
Prashant,
Because
if we
no,
actually listen
Griha, let
to
me
Chief
complete.
Minister
No,
Siddaramaiah,
Griha, let me
he
complete.
has essentially also mentioned that we are not going to alter the NEP right now because the students are in the current curriculum. They don't want to disturb the education system. It's only after the next year is when the implementation is going to be happening as far as the state education policy is concerned. So that fact, in fact, needs to be also underlined here, this claim that you're making. But having
Griha,
said that,
what I'm
the
saying
argument is also that the BJP is leaning on an outdated education policy.
No, definitely not. See, what was after public consultation, what came in after thorough analysis and wide-range consultations, Karnataka today cannot say they'll appoint a committee and then probably in 6 months they will overhaul the entire thing, which means how? This was wide-ranging consultations from across the country. People have participated and given their inputs, and only then a very comprehensive policy has come into picture, because you have early childhood care and education also as part of the thing, which means from year number 3 to 5 also you have something. And before every student gets on to class 1, you have something called Bala Vatika, wherein the Anganwadi teachers also are part of it. And even at the B.Ed level, there is a teachers training also, and multi-mode entry and exit. And to buttress Lavanya's position, saying what do the students get? If any student is opting out for various reasons, after the first year, they will get a certificate. After second year, they get a diploma. And after 3 years, they get their degree. So at every stage, when they're getting out for various reasons, though the objective is not to let students discontinue the studies, and we want them to continue till the graduation. For whatever reasons, if they're opting out, there is a mechanism for them to get the credits.
But Prashant,
and therefore, based
many
on
of
that,
the students
keeping
do
in
not
mind-
really continue
Griha, let
after
me
the
complete.
third year. They drop out after the third year.
No, Griha, let me complete. Keeping in mind the national skill development also, suitable things are being implemented through NEP, wherein at every stage when student gets out, his skills are honed and toned in such a way that he'll be employable. Today, most institutions are facing the problem of students not being employable because of this Macaulay system of education and the rote system of understanding. You
Okay.
cannot merely go by what you remember and write in the exam, but your analytic study, your logic, reasoning must also come in.
Okay.
Therefore, in this advanced age of technology, when AI and robotics are taking over, students also need to be taught different things, and probably till age 8, I believe, is when probably 85% of 90% of child's thinking is developing. So therefore, at the formative years, we need to give them a very comprehensive way to understand things in a logical way,
Okay.
and therefore NEP is the way forward. And therefore, Congress should not politicize this issue concerning education,
Okay.
and they should in fact suggest if there are any problems and ensure that they implement it better than other states, and point out to the BJP saying, look, you brought out a policy and there were flaws, if at all there were flaws, and we have even tried to change the flaws and implement it in a better way,
Okay.
which means that's when we are going
Okay.
towards
Lavanya,
a
I
good
know you want to
nation
respond to
building
that.
activity.
Please note down your points, but let me